Hello, welcome to Yoga Studies Institute. My name is Alfonso, and this month we're going to be exploring Samadhi, which is a Sanskrit word that can be translated as meditation, a deep single-pointed concentration on a specific object that we bring alive. And this month, I'm very excited that all our amazing teachers are going to be sharing their experience related to meditation and how to incorporate it and bring this alive in our yoga asana practice. And I hope you're excited too, and you're part of this adventure. Samadhi, meditation, is the fourth power that we'll be building up out of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. And I really believe it's a superpower that we can all have and attain. I like to think that Samadhi, meditation, can be brought into our yoga asana practice. Many of us think of meditation as something that is separate from the yoga asana practice. Maybe some of us think that the yoga asana practice prepares us for meditation, but many of us think that meditation happens under cushion and stillness. I like to think that we can bring our meditation mind into our yoga asana practice. And I like to think that our yoga asana practice can become a meditation in motion, a meditation in action, where we can have those deep moments of meditation inside our yoga asana practice. And we can accumulate these little moments where we step into this space of deep meditation inside our practice, inside the movement, inside the effort. And then as we do this, we're planting the seeds to, if we're not interested in meditation, maybe we're planting the seeds to become interested in meditation. But if we do meditate, I think we're planting the seeds to have deeper, more profound meditations when we go into the cushion and sit to meditate. So I hope you accompany us this month in all our classes with all our amazing teachers as we learn to bring meditation on our mat, off our mat, in our cushions, and into our lives. Hope to see you all in our classes, and I'm very excited about this month. Hope to see you all. Thank you. Enjoy. Hello, my name is Alfonso. I'm from Mexico, but I currently live up in Canada. But every chance I get, I come back to Mexico to visit the family, to enjoy Mexico's beauty, Mexico's nice weather. And I really enjoy practicing yoga. It's gotta be one of my favorite things. But when I'm not doing yoga, I really like to learn. I like to read. I like to travel. But I really enjoy nature, and I really enjoy the beach. So I'll be hanging around on the beach, playing with the waves, and enjoying life, like you guys, right? Hope to see you in our next class. Thanks. Hello. Welcome to YSI, Yoga Studies Institute. My name is Alfonso. This is a moving in alignment yoga class. It's a 1-hour class. It's well suited for beginners and intermediate students that want to learn more about the proper alignment and proper alignment foundations of the yoga asana practice. So perfectly suited for beginners as well as beginner intermediate students. Great. Okay, so today we're going to explore the Sanskrit word samadhi, which can be translated as meditation or single pointed concentration. And this Samadhi is the fourth power described in the 20th verse of the first chapter of Master Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. The verse says Shraddha, Vidya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, Purvaka, Itesharam. And we're focusing in the fourth of those powers, Samadhi, meditation. And for many of us, we've experienced a single pointed concentration or some kind of meditation when we were deeply absorbed in what we were doing. Many of us maybe have the experience of sitting down in a cushion in stillness and accessing the space of meditation. And what I would like to propose to you today is see to what extent whatever meditation arises in you, that state of deep absorption, single pointed concentration, whatever that resounds to you, however you understand that, see if you can bring that state into today's practice. See if you can bring that state into your yoga asana practice. And as you move your body from one pose to another, as in those spaces, in every exhale, in every in-breath, and in those spaces in between, we can collect some moments of meditation. And as we collect these moments of meditation, maybe we start to have access to deeper states of meditation once we sit on our cushion, once we become more interested in meditation if we're not interested in meditation. And if we meditate, maybe our meditation becomes deeper, more profound, as we plant those seeds to increase meditation in our lives. And let's see if the yoga asana practice today can plant those seeds in meditation as we come into a single pointed concentration, a state of a meditative mind as we move in our poses today. And to do that today, I want to create some favorable conditions that I believe should ideally be part of our yoga asana practice. So sometimes when we're working with our bodies and we're doing the poses, we forget these things. And sometimes we need to relax our bodies in a way so we can feel those things. So afterwards, we can bring those things inside effort, inside movement, in the same way as we're going to try and bring meditation inside movement, inside effort today. Okay? Great. So let's start. So we're going to start by in a sitting pose, and we're just going to center for a second to open the space for our practice. So many of you know that I like to work with blocks. I believe blocks help us with our alignment. So you can be sitting on a block or sitting in a blanket. And we're going to create this sitting pose where we're going to be sitting tall. Our pelvis is in an anterior tilt. We create the favorable conditions for our sitting pose, and we simply allow our eyes to close, inner smile to shine, and we bring our awareness to the experience of the breath. And as we invite our mind to settle with our breath and create softness, we're going to invite our hands to come together to the center of the chest. And we're going to open the space for our practice with the sound Om one time. Invite your breath to fill up your lungs. Inhale. You can allow your hands to release, your eyes to open, and you can allow yourself to smile. So it is smiling releases any unnecessary tension in and around the face and prepare us to be open and receptive to whatever we're going to receive today. Great. Okay. So let's place our blocks to the side for a second. And today I want to create those favorable conditions I was talking about. And we're going to start in Shavasana. Yeah, that's right. We're going to start in Shavasana. So I like to place a blanket behind my head when I go into longer or deeper Shavasana. So we're going to go into a little deep Shavasana and then we're going to start doing our practice. Okay? So this is especially helpful for people that when you're laying on the floor in Shavasana, their chin moves away from the chest and creates a little bit of compression in the cervical spine. Ideally, you want the chin to be moving to the chest and the back of the neck to be long. So many people benefit from the fact of having a slight height and having a blanket behind the head. If you have a blanket around, you can try and use it. See if that changes. And if you ever see someone that his head is moving away from the chest, then they definitely benefit from having a blanket behind the head. So find the variation of Shavasana that's best for you. Make sure that you quiet your mind by telling yourself, it's okay, we're going to start with Shavasana. Maybe you're eager to move, maybe this is great for you. In any case, see if you can simply allow the experience to unfold. Find the best variation for you for Shavasana today. Remembering that the slight rotation of the arms outwardly. So the fact of bringing the weight slightly into the knuckle of the index finger without any force to it, just naturally, will make the chest and sternum slightly open, slightly more. Okay. Without exaggerating, you want the lower ribs to descend too. Okay. So let go of all the actions in your body. And then see if you can let go of any holdings as much as you can, any unnecessary tension. And bring your awareness to your breath. Okay, one more cue on the Shavasana. So obviously the palms of the hands are facing up. So you're creating that openness in the chest. And then you're letting go of all the actions, but you don't want your legs to be too far apart from each other. In my experience, that increases the flare of your hip bones. It creates some tension in and around the sacroiliac joint. So maybe just hip width apart or slightly more than hip width apart, not more. Okay, back to letting go, releasing, and back to our breath. Now, create some softness in the skin in and around your eyes, the point in between the eyebrows, the face in general. And I want you to bring your awareness to your eyes. See if you can allow your eyes to move away from the eyelids towards the back of the head. So as the eyes move away from the eyelids towards the back of the head. See if both eyes can settle equally, meaning that both eyes are equal distance, they have the same distance from the ceiling, from the sky, as they settle down towards the back of the head. I'm going to be guiding you to certain instructions that I'm going to invite you to do. Stay with whatever instructions are available for you. So don't try to force and feel something that's not available for you. So if the eyes feel that they're not available to settle, stay with your breath. Stay with the softness in the skin in and around the eyes. So whatever instruction seems to not be available to you, do not create tension or conflict or argument with that. Don't try to force it in any way. Just stay with whatever's available for you today. And as you continue to allow the eyes to settle away from the eyelids to the back of the head, allow your breath to flow naturally. And now, I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness to your ears, and especially to your inner ears. So, not the part of the ear that's outside of the skull, but more into the small tunnel that goes from the outer ear into the head, into the skull, the inner ear. And see if you can actually feel your inner ears. And as you bring your awareness to feel your inner ears, to recognize your inner ears, see if you can invite your inner ears to soften and release. So that will feel like if the inner ear, the skin inside the inner ear will soften, and the inner ear will become more open, more round, more symmetrical in its orifice, in its opening. Its circumference becomes more symmetrical as you soften the inner ears. Again, stay with whatever's available for you today. If the inner ears are not available, stay with the eyes. But do try to soften and release your inner ears. Most of the time, one inner ear will feel that's softer than the other, that's more released than the other. That usually is in relationship to the eye that settles more deeply away from the eyelid to the back of the head. So if you feel that one inner ear is more released than the other, try softening the eye on the same side of that inner ear slightly more. See if that helps release that inner ear. So you're symmetrical in your experience of softening and releasing the inner ears. Although there's always discrepancies between both sides, trying to bring it as symmetrical as you can. And as you continue to soften and release your eyes, as you continue to soften and release your inner ears, now I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness to your throat, to the jaw, to the mouth, to your tongue. And I'm going to invite you to invite the tongue to settle to the floor of the mouth. And as the tongue settles to the floor of the mouth, allowing the tongue to broaden to the sides away from the midline of the tongue. So the tongue settles to the lower palate, and as it settles, it broadens to the sides away from the midline of the tongue. Releasing the jaw, softening the throat, staying with whatever's available for you. And as you continue to soften and release, I'm going to invite you finally to bring your awareness to your brain. Yes, your brain, the muscle inside your skull. And see if you can divide your brain in two halves. Nothing to do with the hemispheres. We want to divide our brain in the front half and the back half of the brain. See if you can divide your brain like that, and then see if you can invite the front half of the brain that's more towards your face, towards your forehead, to soften, release, and move towards the back of the head, towards the back half of your brain. See then if you can soften and release the front half of your brain away from the forehead towards the back of the skull. See if you can feel your nervous system appeasing. See if you can settle more into the back of your body. So when the nervous system is engaged or aroused, stimulated, when we're stressed, when we have fear, when we're going through deep emotions, the eyes have a tendency to push outwardly, out of the eye socket, outwardly. The inner ears have the tendency to closing themselves, becoming very tense. The jaw has a tendency of clenching, creating a lot of tension in the jaw, in the throat, in the tongue. And then the front half of the brain has a tendency to push forward into the frontal cortex of the skull, into the forehead. So now we're moving in the opposite direction. We're softening and releasing our sense organs, our skull, our brain. And that should feel extremely appeasing for the nervous system as we settle, release our eyes to the back of the skull, softening and releasing the inner ears, softening and releasing the jaw as the tongue settles, and releasing the brain towards the back of the skull. Stay here for 3 more full, deep, conscious breaths. Feel the sensations in your body. Bring your mind to a single pointed concentration, to the meditation of the feeling of how your nervous system feels as you allow it to settle deeply, profoundly. Allow your breath to deepen. You can start activating your toes and your fingers. Take a deep inhale. With the exhale, lengthening it in both directions. Arms and hands in the opposite direction of your legs and feet. Stretch. But keep the softness, but stretch. Bend your legs. Roll to the right in a fetal pose. And allow yourself to take at least 1 full breath here. And whenever you're ready, using your hands to come back up. Great. I'm moving the blanket to the side. And let's start a practice. So place your blocks to the side of the front of the mat. Bring your knees hip width apart. Mat width apart. Big toes touching, heels apart. Let your pelvis settle. And now rotate your pelvis. So you can lengthen as much as you can and bring your forehead against the mat. Skin of the forehead slides towards the nose. Now we changed a little bit our sense of orientation regarding the floor. But see if as the forehead settles, as the skin of the forehead settles towards the floor, see if you can come back to settling the eyes away from the eyelids to the back of the head. If it's available for you, softening and releasing the inner ears. Releasing the tongue, softening the jaw. And then moving the front half of the brain away from the floor, away from the forehead, towards the back of the head. And see if you feel your single pointed concentration, your meditation mind flourish. Make sure your hands are shoulder width apart. Tuck your toes. Spread your fingers. Engage your arms. Coming up. Knees are hip width apart. Tuck your toes under. Bring in the pelvis towards the heels. Aligning your ears with your arms. Again, notice if your eyes, inner ears, jaw and tongue, and brain can settle. Keeping the upper body as still as you can. Inhale. And in the softness of the exhale, pushing the tops of the thighs back and up, hip crease up, heels down. Feel the thighs strongly pushing back, hip crease lifting, pelvis coming up. And be especially attentive. Have your eyes starting to tense and push forward? Can you release the eyes back? What's going on with your inner ears? Can you soften and release the inner ears? Can you soften and release the jaw? Can the brain continue to settle? Can you feel as this pose can become meditation right now? Inhale, tips of the toes. Lift the pelvis. Lifting the pelvis as high up as you can. Exhale, lengthening the heels to the floor. Then inhale, tips of the toes. Unrolling vertebra by vertebra to the plank pose. And then inhale, lowering the pelvis, opening the chest, broadening the collarbones. And then exhaling, pushing the tops of the thighs back and up. Hip crease up, heels down. Again, inhale, tips of the toes. And unrolling vertebra by vertebra into the plank pose. And then inhale, lower the pelvis, open the chest, broaden the collarbones. And then exhaling, pushing the tops of the thighs back and up. Inhale, bend your legs, look in between your hands. Walker step, come between your hands. Long back, parallel to the floor. Open your chest, bring the shoulder blades towards each other. Keeping the chest fully open, exhale, bring your belly towards the thighs. Release the arms, release the head, lengthen the legs. Soften your eyes, inner ears, tongue and jaw, front half of the brain. Interlace your fingers over the back.
Project your arms forward and up. Soften the toes, lift the arches of the feet, lengthen the backs of the legs, and continue to soften and invite the pose to become meditation. Change the crossing of the fingers, project the arms. If it's helpful for you to keep your eyes closed, you can do so. Otherwise, keep your eyes soft glance. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears, release the arms to the floor. Inhale, long back, parallel to the floor. Exhale, belly to the thighs. And then inhale, lengthen the back of the pelvis to the floor. Arms to the sides. Open chest, broad collarbones, arms up. Keep your hands lengthening. Turn to the side. You can stay in the front of the mat. I'm just turning to the side so you can see slightly better. Inhale. Exhale, come into the tips of the toes. Coming up as high up as you can. Find some balance, find some stillness. Soft glance. And then keeping the hands as high up as you can. Exhale, release the heels to the floor. Interlace your fingers. Project the palms of the hands, engage your thighs. Inhale. And then exhale, moving towards the right. Inner smile. Soften the eyes, inner ears, jaw. Inhale back to center. Palms of the hands. Change the crossing. Project the palms of the hands up. Inhale, engage the thighs. Exhale. Moving to the left. Feel the right side lengthening. Inhale back to center. Engage the thighs. Exhale up and over your firm thighs. Forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale, long back, parallel to the floor. Exhale, belly to the thighs. And then inhale, lengthen the back of the pelvis to the floor. Arms to the sides, open chest, broad collarbones, arms up. Exhaling, hands together in the center of the chest. So you can come to the front of the mat. I'm just gonna move the blanket slightly. Okay. Coming to the front of the mat. Release your arms to the sides. Come into Tadasana. Settle the four corners of your feet. Engage your legs. Lengthen the spine. In breath. Exhale, hands together in the center of the chest. Take an instant to bring your awareness where you want your awareness to be. See if you can soften and release your inner organs. The organs of your eyes, tongue, the inner ears, and your brain. Inhale. In the softness of the exhale, lengthening your arms. Inhale, engage the thighs. Exhale, up and over your thighs. Forward bend. Inhale, long back, parallel to the floor. Exhale, belly to the thighs, hands on the mat. Right to left foot back, Balasana plank pose. Exhale, soften the face. Inhale, lower the pelvis, open the chest. Active legs. Exhale, push the tops of the thighs back and up. Hip crease up, heels down. Keeping the left thigh fully engaged. Exhale, lengthen the right leg towards the back wall. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right foot in between your hands. Coming into the tips of your fingers, coming into your blocks for more height. Foundational pose. Right knee on top of the right ankle. Left leg lifting, especially the inner thigh lifting. Lengthen the spine. And without walking your feet from the right hip crease, exhale, lengthen the right leg. Feel the length. Shoulder blades coming together, spine lengthening. Feel the right leg lengthening, right hip crease back, left hip crease forward. And see if with those sensations you can continue to soften and release. Soft glance. Maybe you can bring the foot in flex, lifting the entire foot, except for the heel, getting into the calf. Bringing the foot down, bending the leg, bringing your blocks to the lowest height, or your hands directly on the mat. Make sure the left hand is under the left shoulder, bringing the right hand on the back of the pelvis. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, turning the belly, ribcage, and chest. Creating our twist, softening our inner channels, and doing the knots as we soften and release the eyes, inner ears, jaw, and brain. Inner smile. Inhale back to center. Get more height on your blocks. Stabilize your legs, holding an imaginary block in between your thighs. And then inhale. Bring in both hands on your thigh. Bring the pelvis forward, open the chest. Inhale, release the arms to the sides. And in the softness of the out breath, lengthening the arms. And see here if inside the effort, you're able to soften the eyes, the inner ears, the jaw, the brain. Can this pose become meditation? Effortless. Or can we move closer to that? A tiny bit. Maybe an instant. And going back. Now we're gonna bring our left foot with our right foot. Walking the blocks forward, or our hands long back parallel to the floor. Take a deep inhale. And with the exhale, lengthening the left foot back. See if there's the possibility to find some balance. Maybe lengthening the arms back. Top of the head moving away from the back foot. Stabilize. Breathe. And coming back, settle. Exhale, lengthen. Face soft, chest soft. Inner smile. Exhale, hands on the mat. Right foot back, Balasana plank pose. Exhale, soften the face. Inhale, lower the pelvis, open the chest. Drawing the collarbones. Exhale, pushing the tops of the thighs back and up. Hip crease up, heels down. Now keeping the right thigh fully engaged. Exhale, lengthen the left leg towards the back wall. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left foot in between the hands. Coming into the tips of your fingers, or again, grabbing your blocks. Inner smile. Make sure the left knee is on top of the left ankle. Make sure your right leg is lifting, especially the inner thigh on the back leg. Lengthen the spine. Soften the eyes, inner ears, jaw, and brain. Can this pose become meditation? Can this moment have a single pointed concentration where we are absorbed without walking the feet from the left hip crease? Exhale, lengthen the left leg. Left hip crease back, right hip crease forward. Shoulder blades slightly towards each other, lengthening the spine. Inner smile. And then see if you can bring your left foot in flex as the foot lifts this, and you go more into the calf. The chest, then bringing the foot down, bending the leg. Now we're bringing the blocks down to the lowest height, or your hands directly on the mat. Make sure your right hand is under the right shoulder. Bring the left hand on the back of the pelvis. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turning the belly, ribcage, and chest. You can lengthen the left arm up. Again, trying to undo the knots. Inner channels, the back of the spine, around the shoulder blades. One more breath. And coming back to center. Get more height under in the tips of the fingers or on your blocks. And keep the lengthening. And now stabilize. Hold an imaginary block in between your thighs. And as you stabilize, bring both hands on your left thigh. Lift the chest. Bring the pelvis forward. Lengthening the arms with the exhale. Eyes settling. Inner ears. Jaw, tongue, brain. Inner smile. Again, see if you can come into this space. Inside the effort. Inside the pose. Can we move towards meditation? A single pointed concentration. Inner smile, hands on the blocks. Right foot with the left foot. Long back, parallel to the floor as we move our hands on our blocks. Forward. Rooting the four corners of the left foot. Inhale. And then exhaling. Lengthening the right foot back. Right foot pressing to an imaginary wall. Welcome to stay on your blocks, or you can maybe find some balance. And then lengthen the arms back. Right foot pressing to an imaginary wall. Soften the eyes, soften the jaw. Bending the foot, coming all the way back. And lengthening again. 2 full breaths. Inner smile. Eyes, inner ears, jaw and tongue, and the brain. Exhale, hands on the mat. Left foot back, Balasana plank pose. Exhale, soften the face. Inhale, lower the pelvis, open the chest, broaden the collarbones. And exhale, push the tops of the thighs, back and up. Hip crease up, heels down. Keeping the left thigh fully engaged. Exhale, lengthen the right leg towards the back wall. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right foot in between your hands. Your blocks again. Without walking your left foot, bring your left heel to the center of the mat. But to bring your buttock into the groin, keeping the knee aligned with your ankle. I'm going to turn myself so you see a little bit better. And then keeping the heels aligned, keeping the arch of the foot on the left foot moving away from the floor, keeping the buttock moving into the groin. With the next inhale, just move up into Virabhadrasana 2. Wake up your arms, keeping the elbow creases up, palms of the hands down. Look at the longest of your fingers in the right hand. And then see from here if you can soften and release. Inhale. Exhale, lengthening forward. Lengthen, 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 lengthen. Bring in the forearm on top of the thigh. And then inhale. And exhale, moving the arm across to Tita Parshva Konasana. Feel the entire left side lengthen. Soften the face, soften the eyes. Inhale, coming back up. Now you're going to turn the palm of the hand on your front hand, the right hand. And you're going to exhale, reversing the Warrior 2 variation. Maybe your left hand can come across the waist to grab the thigh. Or otherwise you can reach back to the left foot. Eyes, inner ears, jaw and brain. Back to Warrior 2. One more full breath. And then exhaling. Hands on the blocks, turning your left foot, stabilizing the foundational pose. Blocks to the sides, hands on the mat. Right foot back, belly cast in a plank pose, exhale, soften the face. Inhale, lower the pelvis, open the chest, burn the collarbones. And exhale, push the tops of the thighs back and up, hip crease up, heels down. Take 2 full breaths. Come back to that space of softness, of settling, where your nervous system can be peace, where meditation can flourish. Keeping your right thigh fully engaged. Exhale, lengthen the left leg towards the back wall. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left foot in between the hands. Come into the tips of your fingers, or again on your blocks. Make sure the left knee is on top of the left ankle. Foundational pose without walking the right foot. Bring the right heel to the center of the mat, so the heels are aligned in the same line. Them align. And now, as you bring the buttock into the groin, as you keep the left knee on top of the left ankle, with the next inhale, coming up, all the way up into Virabhadrasana 2. Arch of the foot and the back foot moving away. Let's wake up our arms. Turn the palms of the hands up, keeping the elbow creases up, just the palms of the hands down. Inhale, inner smile. Exhale, moving forward. Forward, forward, forward. Bring your left arm on top of the thigh. Remember, the elbow is pushing the thigh back. Lengthen the right arm. Inhale. And then exhale, moving the arm across. Feeling the entire right side. Lengthening. And then see if you can come to the softness, the appeasing of the nervous system. And inhale, coming back up. You're going to turn the left palm of the hand on the left hand up. And reversing the variation to lengthen the left side. Right hand can reach down or around the waist to grab the thigh. One more full breath. And coming back to center. Inhale. And exhale. Hands on the blocks. Turn the back foot. Blocks to the sides. Hands on the mat. Baddha plank pose. Exhale, soften the face. Inhale, lower the pelvis, open the chest. Burn the collarbones. And exhale, pushing the tops of the thighs back and up. Hip crease up, heels down. Come back to the eyes, softening. Inner ears, jaw and brain. Peace of mind. And see to what extent you can move closer to meditation in this very pose right now. So bend your legs, looking between your hands. Walk or step into a sitting pose. And now we're going to lengthen our legs. And we're going to grab the skin of the buttocks to be sure that we're sitting on the sit bones. Here, the fact the pelvis might be nuchating slightly back is not that much of an issue. We're not bending forward. And we're actually going to use the hand on the back for this pose to bring the back and the pelvis as more in alignment as we can. So we're going to grab the right foot and bring the right foot on the outside of the left knee. The left knee stays long. We grab the top of the shin bone to straighten, lengthen the back. So this is one variation. We want to keep the left foot pressing to an imaginary wall. And if it's available for us, we can bend the left leg and be sitting in between our heels. This is only if it's available and we feel that both sitting bones are settling to the floor. So the foundations of this pose is, again, the mount of the big toe. That's rooting heavy against the floor, mount of the big toe on the right foot, and the right hip crease, which is rooting the sit bone, the right sit bone, onto the mat. Okay, so soften your eyes, inner smile, grabbing the top of the shin bone. We do some bracing to lengthen the spine. Inhale. In the softness of the exhale, lengthening the arms up. Inhale, and then exhale, turning to the right. The left arm comes around the left arm comes around the right leg, and we're looking over the right shoulder. And here is where we can use the right hand to slightly push the mat away from us to straighten the back, looking over the right shoulder. Our eyes can be either closed or a soft glance, coming back to the eyes, rooting, settling away from the eyelids, jaw release, inner ears. With every inhale, we extend the spine. With every exhale, we go deeper in the twist. If it's available for us, we can bring the left elbow on the outside of the right knee. I like to think if our mind's scattered, for me it helps to keep the fingers together. If I'm very settled, I like to expand. And then inhaling, coming back to center. And we're lengthening the legs again. And again, just making sure we're sitting on the sit bones. And now it's the left foot that comes on the outside of the right leg. And again, this can be the variation for you. If this is the variation, keep a long leg and the right foot is pressing to an imaginary wall, and you do the twist in the same way. If it's available for you to bend the right leg and be sitting in between your heels, then you come back to your foundational points, the mount of the big toe on the left foot, and the left hip crease, which is settling and rooting the left sit bone on the mat. Interlace your fingers, grab the top of your shin bone to get some support, lengthen the spine, redress the back, bring the pelvis into alignment. Inhale. In the softness of the exhale, lengthening the arms up. Inhale, and then exhale, turning to your left. Right arm hugging your left leg, and then again, the left hand that is aligned with the sacrum will be bracing the mat to straighten the back and bring the pelvis into alignment. If you really feel that your pelvis is nutating back, that there's a posterior tilt of the pelvis, you would be better off sitting on a blanket or a block. And if you do sit on a blanket on a block, then use a height for your hand too. Come back to your breath. Come back to the softness of the settling eyes, inner ears, jaw and tongue, and then maybe also the front half of the brain settling back. Every inhale, you lengthen the spine. Every exhale, you go deeper in the twist. If it's available for you, you can bring the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. 2 more breaths. And then inhale, coming back to center. So here, you're gonna keep your legs bent. If you're using your blocks, you can keep your blocks handy. And you're going to use your hands and then your elbows to unroll the back, bring the forehead against the mat. The back of the head against the mat, keeping that sensation that the chin is moving towards the chest, holding on your shin bones, feeling the slight pressure of your thighs against the lower digestive organs. Apana Asana. And then from here, allowing the feet to come to the mat. Let your heels be close to your buttocks, close enough that you can touch the heels with the longest of your fingers. Not more. Hold your imaginary block in between your thighs. Lengthen the back of the pelvis. Let the lower ribs release. Inhale, lengthen the arms. Exhale, bend the arms, bring the elbows next to the ribs. Holding the imaginary block, take a deep inhale. And in the softness of the exhale from the outer thighs, lifting the pelvis up. Lift the pelvis. Lift. And from here, you can either bring your arms down to the mat and interlace your fingers and use your arms to project your pelvis as high up as you can. Again, come back to the eyes, settling away from the eyelids. Maybe the inner ears are available, the jaw, the tongue, the brain. Settle. If you're working with blocks, you can also use the support of the block behind the sacrum. Use the variation that's best for you for 3 more full deep breaths. See if inside the effort or inside the passive support of the block, you can come back to that releasing, softening of the eyes, inner ears, tongue, and brain. Then if you're on your block, you release the block, releasing the arms, and slowly from the back of the pelvis, lengthening towards the heels, settling, inner smile. Now bringing the soles of the feet together, Setu Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana, excuse me. Now you're going to, if you're using your blocks, you can place the blocks on the outsides of your thighs. If you're not using blocks, then bring your heels as close to the perineum as you can. Let the lower ribs settled. And just take 3 full deep breaths here. Releasing, softening, coming back to the breath and coming back to the settling of the eyes, the softening of the inner ears, the releasing of the jaw, to the tongue, and then the allowing the brain to settle back. Staying with what's available for you. Holding your space of meditation with an inner smile. With the help of your hands, or just slowly bring your thighs towards each other. Release, bring the blocks to the sides. If you're using the blocks, move them away from your pelvis. Open your feet mat width apart. Opening the arms to the sides. Inhale. And then exhale, let both legs fall to the right as the face falls to the left. And inhale to the center. And now exhaling, legs to the left, face to the right. Coming back to the center. Bringing your knees to your chest for 1 full breath here. And maybe rocking to the left and to the right. And from here, coming into back to Shavasana. So ideally, the entire practice is in a space that is close to Shavasana. I like to think that every pose should come as close to Shavasana as we can. So come back to Shavasana. Come back to the eyes, settling away from the eyelids. Come back to the softening of the inner ears, the releasing of the jaw by the settling of the tongue. and the front half of the brain releasing and settling back. Stay with your breath. Find your stillness and allow your entire body to fully relax. Allow your breath to deepen. You can start activating your toes and your fingers. Take a deep in breath. And in the softness of the exhale, lengthening in both directions, arms and hands, legs and feet moving in opposite directions. Lengthen. Exhale, release. Bend your legs. Roll to the right in a fetal pose. Allow yourself to take one full breath here. And then finding our easy sitting pose to end up our practice. You can use your block. And now let's share the well-being of our practice. So bringing your hands together in the center of the chest. Let any goodness awakened by this practice be shared by all the beings in this world. Inhale. Thank you for your practice. Namaste.